back up. And that's the one thing that we as individuals have to do.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. I got a good guest right now. He goes by the name of Ramar Price. Just kind of relaxing right now at a Starbucks, getting some things off our noggins, off our minds. Really great guy. Met him seriously about business. He's all the way from Memphis 10. 8-ball MJG.
Right.
True representer. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay fly. All right. So yeah, really appreciate you all for tuning in. Just want to let you all know this is going to be a great segment right here. He has a lot to talk about right now, a lot of influence within the community, changing a lot of things. If you hear, some motor cars and things like that, because we're just enjoying the breeze right now. But definitely pay attention as best as possible. And I'm going to let Ramar, kind of take it over from here. But the topic of the day is the battle for money. The definite battle for money. If you didn't know, it occurs every day on every time frame. Again, seconds, milliseconds, hours, months, years. It's been going on for so long. It's really not the battle for money. I'll go more in depth with that. The battle for resources. That is what really makes absolute sense. Okay? So you guys definitely stay in tune. Ramar has a lot he has to say. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we're going to get right off into the segment, man. Appreciate y'all for listening in.
Hey, how's everybody today? This is Ramar Price. Basically, I'm an entrepreneur. And I started entrepreneuring back when I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I always had the mindset, but never had the resources nor the people to back that. So I decided to go on ahead, pack up, get up out of there, and get to a place to where I can spread my wings and fly. Now, I will say this. Moving does not mean that everything is glory. You will have to come across challenges. You will have to face difficulties. That is the whole point of being an entrepreneur. But if you can look past it, if you can get past that difficulty, I feel that success is right around the corner. So for some of us, we may lose everything. For some of us, there will be something that we have to sacrifice in order to be entrepreneurs, in order to be successful. But success is something to me that is not easy, and accomplishing success takes time, dedication, and what some people would like to brag and talk about, but not many do, is actually hard work.
I got a question for you, Ramar, man. So why do you think that is so pivotal for us to be entrepreneurs within our community?
To be entrepreneurs is to actually think outside the box. To be an entrepreneur means to actually do a lot of self-reflection. You have to see within yourself sometimes and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? Is this something that I really want to do? It requires a lot of self-reflection. And I feel that, being an entrepreneur and being successful, you actually see yourself in a better place. Once you get past those questions, once you do your homework, you do your research, your due diligence on what you want to get into and find out what you want to do, I feel that, you actually 9 times out of 10 become a better person.
Gotcha. But when it pertains to the battle of the money, specifically, why do you think it's pivotal for us to be entrepreneurs? And in the basis of meaning that we shouldn't lose in this race that we're in. That was my question. Why do you feel like it's really honorable for us to be entrepreneurs within our community?
When it comes to money, it's not having it. It's how you use it that makes the entrepreneur. You can have all the money in the world, but if you have bad spending habits, then all the money in the world will not save you. It will not exactly make you successful. It will only make you what you wear, what you drive, what you use. That's the only thing that's going to make you until it all disappears and you have nothing.
Where is it? So when you have bad spending habits, what is that doing to the community?
When you have bad spending habits, what that does is that it gives money to everyone else but you. Now, it might seem good on the outside, and I've actually, known people to be quote-unquote givers. They love to give money away. But when it comes to keeping money, they have issues and problems. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
That to me consults towards real bad spending habits.
Yeah, you rather buy your chain before you put your family in the house, man. That's ridiculous, man. Give us some of the ways that we can really manipulate or make our money work for us as being entrepreneurs.
In order for us to do that, we're going to have to stop looking at everything as an asset and look at it for what it really is. When you buy a chain, that's a liability. That is not an asset. When you buy a car, that is a liability. It's not really that much of an asset. When you buy a home, once again, it is not an asset. It is a liability. The only reason it is a liability is because it costs you money to actually have the vehicle. It costs you money to have the chain. It costs you money to keep and uphold the house. It's not making you any money. It's costing money. And when you're spending money all the times, it's a liability. Anyone in business will tell you that liability is bad. Whether it's a house, apartment, a car, it is bad. And you should turn your liabilities into assets so that you can make money.
True story, man. I got a question for you, man. I think it'll help a lot of people out. What should be the first step for anybody starting their own business?
Read, and more reading.
And patience. Ton of patience.
Patience comes along with reading. I can't say this enough. You can't just walk out your door and think you're going to make $1 million and you don't know the first thing to do about business. That just, to me, it just will not happen.
Let me infer this. They probably don't know how many zeros behind $1 billion either.
You can have that kind of money,
yeah.
But, the question is, how will you use it? Mm-hmm. How will you use the money so that you can turn that liability into an asset? Mm-hmm. How do you make money profitable? Mm-hmm. There's a couple of ways of doing that. Mm-hmm. Stock market is one. Mm-hmm. Handing your money over to the bank and making a cash deposit is another way, or a CD. Mm-hmm. You can get with a financial company and actually get up on, the 401k and IRA programs. That's another good way to do it. Now, keep in mind that all these routes, they take time. They take a matter of years. They are not something that's overnight. There is no making money overnight.
Okay, so what's your thought process on other people within our community pitching in to certain business ideas and the actual need to do that, as opposed to giving up, not doing it, or just flat out not giving effort?
That comes from basically your discussions, what you talk about. To me, the best businessmen are usually the businessmen that actually put a focus on business. Now, when I say a focus on business, that doesn't mean you just spend all day business. No, you actually read. You actually, look at forums, look at, Facebook. You have a lot of places that you can go that discuss about business. In some states, they actually have, networking events. to where people are in there for business.
Use social media for what it really needs to be used for.
Right.
Gotcha.
Just use it for a platform to accelerate, not decelerate. You know,
get away from the lean, right? Lord.
Get away from the drama.
Yeah.
That's one thing we love. We love drama.
Drama don't pay bills.
Drama doesn't do nothing for you but actually train your mind to love drama. So you put drama in your life. Relationships, marriage, drama. It's all drama.
And expensive.
It gets expensive.
Yeah.
Because women wind up being a liability.
Yeah.
Because they look for somebody else to pay their stuff.
Let me ask you this. So when it actually comes to building like better community homes and things of that nature, what do you feel like each gender specifically, when it comes to the community, what should be their roles when it comes to upbuilding our communities? We can start with the woman first or the male, whichever one you prefer.
I mean, when it can go either way. Honestly, it can go either way. Like this, if we want to better our communities, it starts with self. We can't talk about bettering the community if we don't better ourselves. It's just basically real talk. You know, we can come up in there and live in the hood, but if we don't better ourselves, you know, if we don't look at ourselves and say, is this something that we want to do? Do we want to do this for the rest of our lives? You know, what am I have to do better? Because it all starts there. Man, woman, or child. You know, because if your neighbor sees you and they see you mowing the lawn, they see you repainting your house, they see you fixing your house from the inside out, whether you man or woman, you know, they gonna look at them like, he's
character.
Yeah. Character goes a long way. They just gonna be like, man, he's fixing up his house. Well, how's he doing that? Wait, how are you fixing up your house? Could you help me with mine? And it goes from there.
Do you honestly think that we should live in a bit of filth? I mean, don't get me wrong, every race has their own filth, but do you believe frequently, as you know, what we've known to be, and you know, kings and queens and things of this nature, that we should be living like this over here in America?
We got to stop that. We have to stop that. We got to stop this king and queen BS.
Okay.
And I say that because we put ourselves on a pedestal
that we're not even acclimated to achieve, that we're not trying to achieve.
Right. We're not trying to achieve being an actual king or queen. We're just calling ourselves that to feel good.
For a pity.
Pretty much. It's for our shortcomings. For our shortcomings, we call ourselves kings and queens, and what it mentally tells us is that we're already there.
You can accept failure, basically.
No.
Or you can accept your condition.
No, you can accept where you're at, which makes us complacent.
Yeah.
Because we are already kings and queens, so we become complacent in that stagnation. We don't need to go any further because we're already there. We're already where we want to be.
Yeah. But we have to switch that thought process,
right,
to what that actually means in today's society.
Right. Being a king or queen in today's society means that we're trash. That's pretty much what it means.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really today's society. Being a king and queen means that we are trash.
Because kings should kill other kings. For what? Of the same complexion. If you have those features, why? What is that accomplishing?
Kings should be basically looking at their subjects to do the things that they want to do. To be a king is like being a business owner. You know,
I like that correlation.
A business owner. What does a business owner do? A business owner basically takes his idea and lets his staff bring that idea to the table. And once
manifest it.
Yeah, they have a proper business has a staff that brings their ideas to life.
Absolutely.
Now, we kings and queens.
Now hold on. Let's refer to the queens now.
Okay. I can say almost the same.
Okay.
Small differences though.
Okay.
One, as a queen
Of today's society.
One, how can you call yourself a queen with no king?
Not support.
They work backwards. They're working backwards. They're a queen by themselves, running a country they don't have.
Wow.
Why is it that you're calling yourself a queen, running something you do not have? The only thing you may have, you may have a place to stay. You may have a roof over your head. Okay, that's great. You may have a car. Okay, that's great. But do you consider those two your subjects? Because you sure paying a lot of money to keep your subjects.
And that keeps the generational wealth at a decline.
Right.
Because you're not placing value on a dollar, or it's not increasing amongst families.
It's not increasing amongst knowledge. You know, we can pass money around to families all day.
Again, it's what you do with the money. It's not the
right.
amount.
It's not having
it's the psychology behind it.
Right.
Gotcha.
It goes down to what do you think of money?
What is it really getting you? What is it really gaining you?
No, that's what is it. An example, I look at money as a tool for trade.
Trade mechanism. Exactly.
Right. It's a tool for trade. Knowing that, my mind says, hey, if I have money, why don't I trade it to get something back from it and benefit? For example, let's say if I actually have money and I actually use it as trade to get education, then I'm basically increasing my value. Not only as a person, but overall. You know, overall standing. You gain value through knowledge. So, if I was to actually use this money as trade, and let's say I put it in the stock market, then I'm basically looking to put value in the money that I have. It's being used as a tool for trade to grow. Now, will I win all the time in stock markets? No. No, they teach you in stocks, futures, options. They teach you that you have to accept loss. You know, you will not win at everything. You have to accept a loss.
So let me ask you this question. So, what do you feel like keeps us from gaining or obtaining knowledge?
What keeps us grounded?
Exactly.
What keeps us below the ground is a couple of things.
Okay.
Our environment, our stubbornness to accept.
Pride. Okay.
No, not pride. Okay. Arrogance. There's a difference.
Okay.
Pride comes from accomplishment.
Okay.
Arrogance is blind pride.
But I mean, like the pride in the sense of the culture, or the negative culture that we've created. We're more so prone to give that energy,
right,
as opposed to uplifting our community.
Right.
Put energy towards that. That's the pride that I'm meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the arrogance. I mean, the arrogance as well, but both, really, essentially.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the way I look at it. When it comes to us. We have for so long, and it started with slavery. Once we knew that we were slaves, now it's a stigmata. We're so focused on what our ancestors went through that we stop focusing on ourselves. We actually look at like TV shows, and we get so into those TV shows that we lose track of, ourselves. And actually being to a point to where we can sustain ourselves. We're always looking for a place to escape to.
I'm going to tell you one thing with that. The problematic situation with that is those people are making the dollar that you're mentioning while the people that are watching are living the fake lifestyle. They're not profiting anyway.
Right. They're not. They're not at all. And that's the reason I say that, you know, we're so reluctant to find places to escape to because our problems have stacked so high. We've gotten our problems to where they're like to the neck. Sometimes over the head, all in problems and don't know what to do.
So what do you say about the entertainers that influence us negatively within our community?
Now, as far as entertainers going, I tune them out. I stopped watching TV a long time ago. And the only reason I have is because I've come to find out that what they show on TV nowadays is not to our benefit. It's not to our benefit at all. What they show on TV nowadays is basically for the people upstairs to manipulate us. They manipulate us in saying that it's okay to be a simp. It's okay to be a trans. It's okay to be these things. You know, it's not okay to be yourself. It's not okay to understand yourself. It's not okay
to love self.
Right. To understand self, you have to see the ugly. You gotta face the facts. We have grown to step away from that life because either we don't have time, or we get so into our work.
But see, and that's the thing. I feel like, so back to this entrepreneurial situation.
Right.
Do you feel like we cannot progress with continuing to upbuild other communities and putting so much time in that with your 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or even your Saturday, Sunday? What do you feel like the necessary steps need to be to become your own again?
Okay.
And also, what do you need to do as far as a group? You know, like we're having these sessions here.
Right.
What do you feel like needs to be done as a group, as a whole, to be able to come together and get away from certain circumstances that cause us to work so hard and we're really not working towards anything at all?
Okay. One thing, now, this is going to be something psychological.
Okay.
And this deals with the psyche. The one thing that we have to do is we have to understand where we're at. Period. If we can't do that, there's no acceleration. There's no getting to point B. Because in order to leave point A, you have to realize that, hey, I'm not really in a financial position right now to own the things that I want, to do the things that I want. You know, that we have to make a goal. You know, what is your goal? Whether it's to travel, whether it's to, you know what I'm saying, have an airport, or to even find the girl of your dreams. You know, it's a goal. Now, you know, a girl of your dreams ain't gonna really take no slump.
We gotta definitely talk about that hard work.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna take no chump.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing
to me,
is.
And I won't say nothing because coming here, I've actually realized that people are trained to accept chumps. Otherwise, you would see people working towards being champs. You don't see that. I don't see that a lot. I see a lot of people, it's just like, I worked at Walmart for 12 years. I've seen more chumps in there than champs.
More chumps than champs.
More chumps than champs.
You gotta make a shirt out of that, man. Be a champ, not a chump.
Right?
I'm telling you.
So, you know, seeing that in real makes you think. I worked at Walmart here in Texas for 3 years. Seen more chumps in there than champs.
I got you.
Because for me, I pay attention to what goes on around my neighborhood. I pay attention to what goes on around me. And I'm doing the demographics in my head. Not only am I doing the demographics, but I'm seeing how people dress, what they talk about, what they do, how they do.
It's corporate. It's all corporate. They might not be making the corporate money that they want to make, but the mindset is all corporate. It's not to benefit yourself. It's to benefit the corporations.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But not to get off the topic, but I also want to get into, you were saying about the understanding, right? The understanding that you're at a certain level.
Yeah.
So why the ideal of this fast mantra, and how do you feel like that affects us? Like this immediate need to have conversation.
The immediate need to have conversation, that is a mindset that has been put into our minds from schools and basically people investing in us to stay down, to keep our heads down.
It's a hamster wheel mentality.
That's pretty much what it is that we keep recycling the thoughts that, oh, we've been in slavery, oh, we're owed this, we're owed XYZ that we'll never get.
But nothing is set up like that out here to give you anything.
That's the no.
No, I'm saying the setup. I'm not saying that you can't maximize or capitalize.
Right.
Like you said, because you have to gain knowledge. I mean,
right.
When you get a game, you got to read the manual, right?
Agreed.
You understand what I'm saying? But we skip the manual part. We just want to play the game.
But here's the thing that a lot of people need to understand. Okay. Anything that's given to you, there is a price to pay for that.
You got to sacrifice. Keyword.
For example, when Bernie Sanders calls for free education, what does he mean by that? Okay, he means that if you go to college, it's all paid for. Okay, that's great. But who's going to pay for that? We're going to pay for that. We're going to get our asses kicked in with taxes. And if we get our asses kicked in with taxes, corporate's getting their asses kicked in by taxes. And if they're getting their asses kicked in by taxes, corporate is gone. They gonna sit up there and put their little tails in Taiwan and everywhere
China,
else.
Right?
Right. They gonna put themselves in somewhere else. They're not gonna stick around here and get their butts kicked in with taxes because that hurts the economy.
Really, I feel like also in a sense, you have to be intellectual and think outside the box. You cannot go with the norm. In a sense, you have to, but you have to be, let's say, witty in a sense, because there is a such thing as free education. You know what it's called? The library.
Yeah.
It's called the bookstore.
Right. But the thing is about that education, you got to look for it and you got to read it yourself. Ain't nobody's gonna read it to you for you. You have to understand it.
Hey, YouTube audiobooks. You're witty.
Right.
It's out
YouTube
here.
University.
But you know, I'm gonna tell you one more thing, and let me know your opinion on this.
Okay.
Because you got brothers out here, right? Like you know a good source of information. You know how we collaborated. We just a genuine conversation. It wasn't he's not like me. You know, he maybe not from my same area or something like that. So I don't want to converse with him. But that wasn't the case. What I seen was a brother who was ambitious. So do you feel like that's another reason we lack because we don't put our heads together?
That's tit for tat. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say this: by putting our heads together, things progress faster than not.
Or maybe worse because we might bump.
I mean,
you know
we might bump heads, but the thing is actually looking at what is our focus? What are we here for? I'll give you an example.
Come on, man, get it out, man. He just seen Madonna, y'all. He just seen Madonna.
You know, just
you got to stop y'all seeing Madonna. You see how we get off target? Come
right.
On, come on, listen.
When I'm back at home, I had a house.
Okay.
My mother handed me down my grandmother's house. and I put my friends in there. So they didn't exactly like each other per se, but what were we there for? We were there to save money. We were there to actually, put our money towards other things that we may need. The thing that really got us was our emotions. Our emotions got us at the end of the day, and everything fell apart because we let our emotions dictate our judgment.
Our common mantra, our common goal, we let that defer us from that, basically, is what you were saying.
It's basically our emotions. We let our emotions dictate our judgment, and the whole plan fell apart because of the fact that one person didn't like the other because of some reason or another. And we didn't exactly adjust or adapt to each other. We didn't exactly gain any kind of ground at all because it was always problems. Our emotions pretty much got the best of us. And I say that because even though I was the person in charge, I let it happen. And I was like, wow, our emotions got the best of us, which pretty much made the whole thing collapse. So now we're back to square one. So one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to keep our emotions in check. Now, if the person is contributing negatively, aka stealing or within that area, then need to go ahead and let him go.
Yeah, he's the one that got to go fend for himself. He's
Exactly.
the fish you throw back in the sea.
Right.
Gotcha.
Now, if everyone else is contributing positively,
it's really no need, and I wanted to touch on that when it came to a basis of entrepreneurship and you establishing businesses within the community.
Right.
How do you feel about those knowingly of the great gain that we need to gain as a society? How do you feel about those who want to basically destroy what needs to be built? I mean, we see that in especially with Malcolm X. I mean,
right.
We had brothers go in and they assassinated him.
Right.
So how do you feel about that entire situation when we're trying to build as a community that the hate or the arrogance and that pride, how much does that need to be cut off in order for our success as a nation?
In order for our success, man, there's a lot we got.
Let me definitely iterate this because we got a lot of listeners, and I don't know, for some odd reason you do have a lot of people that really hate to see the nation of people win at the same time. So let me say that. Look, we've been suffering for a while now. It's time for us to get something. Please let us discuss this. Back to you, though, man.
Now, one thing, man, you got to cut a lot out. A lot. And one thing about cutting a lot of that out, that's going to require you to basically cut TV, electricity off. Cut it all. I mean, seriously, cut it all off. Be in the room and just sit there. Empty your mind. All the drama, everything. Empty it all out. Now that I feel is going to take days. It's not something that's overnight. That takes time. But one thing we're going to have to do as people, we're going to have to basically get into a get into a closet and dump all of that negativity, everything that's in your mind, dump it out. CNN, dump it. Put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Once you are done with that sequence, you get out of that closet or that dark area, turn your electricity back on, and actually fill your mind up with education. You fill your mind up with opportunities.
Please mention discipline.
And also discipline yourself to build and grow good habits. Good spending habits.
It ain't easy.
No.
When you see that big yellow sign with an M on it, right?
or you see that FREE.
Ooh.
That really gets us. well, if you sign this here, you get this for free. Yeah. No, thank you. Because free comes at a cost. And nowadays, now that it is exposed that companies like Facebook will sell your information, no questions asked. They will sell your information to other companies so that they can dump ads on you. So, cutting your electricity out, cutting all that off, not saying to not pay the electric bill. But I'm just saying to go into a room, cut all your electricity off, and actually just sit there and just empty your mind out. It will do a ton of good, because that way you can fill your mind up with good habits and good spending habits, and eventually remove yourself from the bad habits.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, man, let's go wrap up the seg, man. You had another seg of Real Talks with myself and also my good friend over here, my good colleague. I'm going to let him finish off with some things about, some business things he has going and how you can reach him. Thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Real Talks, the battle for the money. We in it whether or not you know it. I like to say the battle of the resources, but it's both. They both go in coherence. Y'all have a good day, okay? I'm going to let Ramar finish it off.
All right, fellas. Basically, for me, if you really want to get to that kind of level, or if you want to reach me, basically, I do business with Ambit Energy. Now, you can go to hookup.myambit.com. You can find me on there. Any questions or anything, give me a holler. I will answer any questions that you give me. Till then, I wish y'all the best of luck and enjoy your life.